G'day everyone and welcome to another video for Midian Gaming. We are building the Dana Scully deck for the X-Files card game today. And last video we built the Molder deck, and a lot of the beginning aspects of the site that I'm using and sites that you should go to is also in that video. I'm going to place it in the comments at the bottom of this video as well. But really we're going to go right through the deck on this one. We're not going to spend as much time talking about what I did on the other video. So please go and look at the other video. It's a real great Kickstarter for people just trying to get into the game, trying to build a deck and where to start. This, we're just going to go through this deck, what I've put into it, why, and continue on with that theme, so then we can put those two decks together and play a game, okay? All right, so let's just get straight started. With this, we've gone with Dana Scully, and these are the agents that I selected. I selected Dana, Agent Nancy Spiller, Mo Box, and Brian Tillman. So that gets us to 20 points. And look at this, guys. We've got 4 in the blue, which is fantastic. There really isn't much else we really need in this regard. So we've got criminal investigation, evidence collection, medical, and sciences. So if someone tries to stop us with certain sciences or medical cards and that, we're well in position to actually combat those. We might have problems with alien investigation and behavioral and so forth, but the deck's made to actually go against the opponent to try and stymie them while we actually investigate our sites and hopefully win the game, okay? So we've got our agents there. I'm going to go back into the card list for what we've got. We'll just go straight to what we selected. The last video has all the intricacies in regards to what to select first and goes into more depth. So go to that video if you want. We're going straight into the deck here. We're not going to spend that much time. So we've got our agents, which were here. Now I like to go to some equipment, just some quick equipment that we're going to be either using for resources or we're going to be putting them on our characters. Now this one gives observation. We've got one of those. So if we come across it and our opponent is using observation, which we've got, I believe, at 4, we might need the extra, what does this give? An extra 2, yeah? 2 observation. Otherwise we spend it for 4 points to get our conspiracy points. And the other one we've got is a shotgun. Now we could make this a 1 and the other one 2. I've got this one in here for 2 because we're going to sell it straight off for 6 conspiracy points and keep us in the game to actually play those adversaries, okay? All right, let's keep going on. After that, we've looked at equipment. Let's look at the adversaries while we're at it, yeah? Now, I've got this set at 100. Make sure I've got the other sites there. Very good. So let's take a look at the adversaries that I've got. So the Sandman, this is an interesting one. The creature has long-range combat and close-range combat equal to the highest combat rating on the opposing team, including modifiers. Now, rather than go back to the agents, I'm just going to quickly look at this. So as an example, on this team, like Scully's got a long range of 3 and a short range of 2. If there was a similar person in the opponent's team, it would be a 4 at long range and a 3 up close, which is pretty okay, yeah? It's got 5 life, so most likely going to be taken out at long range, but going to be doing that damage back. And I just wanted something different, yeah? Let's put in a different type of adversary. There is obviously better adversaries like Hunter in the Dark, which might also be on this. But, you know, this was a nice little change to actually put in. So we put in one of them. We put in Squeeze. The long range combat round is skipped. So it does 3 damage in close range. Has 5 health. Is going to get that 3 damage off. And if they survive, hopefully maybe we'll be able to keep them alive. They'll be possibly taking out an agent in the second round. So one of that on Squeeze. We've got Operation Falcon Blue Berets. Now, yeah, there are other ones that we could take, but I really wanted to change things up and use some new cards. So Operation Falcon Blue Berets, damage caused by this creature may be split among all opponents, directed player's choice. The Blue Berets may use martial arts combat cards. So doing 3 damage with any martial art combat cards, which we do have them in there. And if we're lucky enough to have them in hand when we play this, we can actually put it down. These come on a method site. So maybe split among all opponents, directed player's choice. So you know, goes in and can split the damage. I think that's pretty good. All right, and let's keep going. It is a little bit expensive at 7. And what do we have? Deadly Blur. Any agent damaged by the Deadly Blur is placed in the hospital for the next 2 turns, regardless of how much health they have. Okay? So each opponent's long-range combat and close-range combat is reduced by 1 point. So it's got 6 life. We're really hoping it survives a turn. If a team has like a combination of 7 long range and that takes all 4 of them, that's 1 off each agent. So they're only doing 3 at long range, and then they're 1 off in close combat. So hopefully this thing survives around for 2 turns, survives the long range combat round, comes in for short range. Don't know if it will survive past 1 turn on that, but it is doing the 4 damage, and they can be doing that 4 damage. Like if it happens for 2 turns, let's just say that's 2 agents in the hospital for 2 turns. It's pretty good. You're guaranteed to put 1 agent in the hospital as it stands there if they don't play any cards to stop this card. And this comes in on a motive site. So we've got a motive site, a method site, another method site, and a result site. So we've got a good range there going through in regards to getting these down. Oh, and look at that. We've actually got another one. I told you this had adversaries in it. The Manitou stalks its prey. Any agent wounded by the Manitou may not heal wounds until a healing card is successfully played on him. Wow, yeah? What a fantastic card. So if they haven't gone for any health cards, which the Molder deck took them out, if this thing comes in and starts doing damage, they're in trouble. Now, long range, it can take 8 damage. So it might just survive into a short round, and it's going to put someone possibly into hospital with a close range of 6, and they're not going to be able to heal. It's really going to stymie their game. Yeah? All right. And no other one after that. So now we've got that. We go into the important thing with sites. I'm just going to mark off sites here. Let me see. Sites. 10 results, obviously 2 of each site being 20, which I talked about in the last video. Once again, we're going to see dual sites, so that's method, motive, method. Oh, method, hang on. Motive, method, sorry. Affiliation, because I was possibly short in affiliation questions. Affiliation or results, results, and affiliation. Now, one thing I didn't touch on in the last one was that when you go down to the stats, and I'll do that in this stats, you can also see the site questions, how many of each one, and you want a good balance in there. You can see that I'm a bit low in the method. I've only got 6 cards that give me a method question. However, if I'm hitting the results pretty well and I've narrowed it down to like 6 of the cards, these are enough to really find out what the X-File is. So it's always good to keep in touch with that to make sure. I wouldn't go less than possibly 5 or 6 in a particular one. It might be necessary in order to ask maybe a method question in order to really narrow it down and win the game before the opponent does, yeah? All right, so let's get back into these cards. We've just done sites. Let's take it off sites. All right. Combat. I've only got 1 combat card, it seems, in there. Play this card on any combatant with subterfuge skill of 1+ or that is capable of using subterfuge cards. The opposing side's long-range combat attack is negated for the round. Wow. All right, let's go back to the subterfuge, guys. Yep, there is only 1 there. Who can use subterfuge? The Sandman can. No more long range. Woo! Which takes out his long range, unfortunately. The Squeeze already has long range taken out. Yeah, Operation Falcon Berets, long range taken out if they want to use it. Deadly Blur is where I'd want to really use it. If they can use subterfuge, yes, they can. And unfortunately, the Manitou can't use it. So really, it's for the Deadly Blur. I only got 1 of this card in, so I might look at those numbers again when I start reviewing the deck, if I get the combat card in hand, and try and get these cards out, yeah? All right, so let's go on. What are we left with? We've done equipment, we've done adversaries, sites. We can look at the events and look at the bluffs, okay? So let's take a look at the events that I chose. Road Trip, both decks. Investigating 2 sites is just too powerful not to have it in there. Cigarette Smoking Man Strikes, another great card. Street Contacts, same as the other deck. Red Tape is a new one. Play during the briefing phase to prevent one opponent from drawing any cards during the remainder of this turn. Ouch. So, yeah, we don't want the opponent drawing cards in their briefing phase, and it will stymie them for a turn. So as you can see, this deck with such cards as this, let's go into the Cigarette Man, change a keyword to any card played in which we can play something like the Manitou to really hurt them, or the one which dealt damage, any damage dealt. Yeah, where was it? Let's just look at that again. So there's the Deadly Blur. Now, I think it was this one, wasn't it? There was Deadly Blur. Yeah, is placed in the hospital. So just to stymie their actions, okay? So getting back to street contacts, search through the bureau deck and place any one witness in your hand. We haven't actually looked at the witnesses, so we'll do that next. Red tape, as I said. Now this one, force an opponent team to make a sciences 4+ skill check. So we're high in sciences. We're guessing that the other teams won't be. May choose an opposing agent on the team to enter combat with another agent. Even more combat. How good's that? You know what? If they've got a subterfuge 1+ on their skill, I'm using the combat card to help with that combat as well. Great. So Langley, 2 of in every deck. We've got Dark Forces Aligned. We've got that in the other deck as well. Lulu Phillips. We didn't have this in the other deck. Now, play this card after an adversary sends an agent to the hospital or removes an agent from the game. Place 5 tokens in your CP pool. So we're looking to dunk an agent in order to get 5 CP, and we'll hold this in our hand. We've got 2 of them. We'll hold this in our hand till that happens, and then bang, we build up our CP pool again. Remember, we paid about 7 for these adversaries, so we want to get as much of that back. All right, no place is safe. You know, not even your bureau is safe. I'm going to send a Manitou into there to actually wreak some havoc. All right, hard evidence. 2 of in every deck. Builds up your resource pool. Relentless pursuit. Play to prevent the opposing player from drawing cards after the player is paid, but before the cards are drawn. So once again, really, if you don't have the other card, once they've paid to actually draw a card, you can play this and really mess them up, yeah? And then you hit them with an adversary and you play Lulu Phillips, you get your CP back. Oh, it's a terrific turn if you're able to do it. Grid pattern search, haven't got enough, need more. 2 of in every deck. Driving. Now, with the sites that I selected, and we'll go back into this, allows me to play this one, driving. I've got 2 of, play on a team in the field. If the team makes a criminal investigation 5+ skill check, they may investigate 2 sites in the same state. So I'll finish these cards off, then we'll go to the same state for driving, yeah? Rejuvenating Caves, 2 of in every deck. Alien Experimentation, negate any one keyword event card, very good. And Trap, play on a team in the field at the start of a combat. Force the opponent team to make an observation 4+ skill check, which could be pretty hard. If they fail, the following combat will be fought between the adversary and one agent of your choice. Oh my goodness, straight to hospital. All right, a friend in the FBI, great card. Play this card in the bureau. Place 10 tokens on this card. During your briefing phase, you may take up to 2 tokens on this card and place them into your RP pool. Now, this is, it's a rare card. I've only got a few. 2 nights ago, I was opening packs and I did find another one, so I'm happy with that. Put it into the deck as a 1 of. Frohickey, can't go without it. Should be 2. Have 1. May think of putting a second one in, and then we go on to the equipment cards. So let's just go back to the sites as I was talking about before we hit the bluffs. As a matter of fact, we can see it from here. 1 MA and then another MA. So as you can see, I've got 2 of that and 2 of that. So that's 4 sites in my deck which are in the same state where I can play driving. Let's keep going. NC, and NC doesn't have a second site. CA doesn't have a second one. Texas doesn't. New York, let's see. I thought I actually did a lot better than this. Let me put it up on just sites. 10 results. So MA, NC. Now crash site, let me take a look at this. upstate New York, okay? It doesn't actually have it here, but it says upstate New York, so it counts as New York. So I've got MA, NC doesn't have another one, CA. Now there is another Canada site or another CA site. I'm not sure, but it comes in another set, but we're only working with Premiere here, okay? So NC doesn't have another one, CA doesn't seem to have another one, Texas doesn't seem to have one, but New York does with the crash sites. So now I've got 2, 4, 6, 8 cards, which are within the same state thing for driving. We've got MD, which also has another one. So now I'm up to 12, yeah? And then we're back to MA. So 12 cards, 4 cards with, all right, how am I going to say this? We've got 3 chances of having 4 cards in the set, which are in the same state, where I can use a driving card to investigate 2 sites. Plus, we've got the other card there that allows us to investigate 2 sites. That was the event card of Road Trip. So we're doing pretty well in regards to investigating 2 sites at one go, while throwing adversaries at the opponent and trying to win the game, okay? Whew. Let's get on to the bluffs. This was in the other deck as well. Section Chief Joseph McGrath. Intruder Countermeasures was as well. Laser Barrier. Nasty Surprise was as well. Car Troubles was as well, Detective Miles as well, Detective Tony Fiore. And that is it, because these are all cookie cutter cards, guys. They are playable in any instance that we're playing the game, and that's what these decks are made for. They're to give to a player and to make sure that they can play down the cards and really have a good chance at actually winning the game, even against someone that knows what they're doing, yeah? It's all about fun and it's all about playability. And that requires some cookie cutter cards, even though they might not be as fun seeing them over and over again. Once again, it's to get people into the game with these decks, yeah? And not be not themed to the point where if you play it off theme onto another deck, you've got cards you can't play. And that was the whole reason for this. So I'm going to put this deck into a link into the comments below, along with everything that I had in the last video. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up. If you want to support us, it's a second of your time. Give us a subscription, guys. Second of your time, it's a lifetime of love for us. Stay tuned, and we're going to be doing more videos. The next one for the X-Files is going to be a gameplay between the Dana deck versus the Mulder deck, and see what happens, okay? Have a great one, guys. We'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.